A boy named Light is shown at the beginning of the film. At that time Light is at his school. Suddenly, the seasonal changes occur. Winds begin to blow, and a notebook falls on the earth from the sky. Light finds that notebook and he scrutinizes it and he keeps it in his possession. Here it is exposed, this was not an ordinary notebook, but a mysterious ancient notebook. Then it starts raining there. Light observes, going inside, that a mischievous student of school is teasing another boy of school and Light forbids him to do as much. While that boy punches Light in return. Light falls on the ground along with his bag. A teacher discovers the home assignments of other students from Light's bag. Here the secret of Light is revealed that he helps out the other students in their home assignments. Light is sent to the principal for this cause. Light is kept in a room isolated as a punishment. Sitting in isolation, he recalls that ancient notebook. Then, he begins to read that book. It was not a normal notebook, but it was stuffed with the statements of rules. There were also rules and regulations to keep this notebook. This notebook belongs the centuries ago. Light senses awkward getting this notebook. The mysterious happening begins to occur when he is examining this notebook. Light observes a weird thing there. It was not a human being but another creature. It was giving a heinous and devilish look, having the pointed body surface. Light is scared too much, witnessing him. But he understands everything later that he is not any creature but a death spirit. And this death spirit is the owner of this notebook. Death spirit tells Light about the reality of this book as what it can do. There are some specific notes in this book which have been called death notes, and the keeper of this book is the owner of this notebook. It means, Light was the owner of this notebook at that time. The important fact of this notebook is that, written name of any person on its death note, will soon die. The owner of notebook can kill anyone according to his liking. As Light can write any way of killing in the notebook after selection, then the victim will die according to the written statement. But the owner will have to follow some rules for doing so. Light does not trust in it right now. Death spirit with book is visible before that person who is the owner of the notebook at that time. Death spirit tells Light, you have to write at least a name in the notebook within 7 days. This notebook will be owned to another person if he does not write the name of anyone, disobeying the rule. The condition to write the name of anyone in notebook is, that owner must have in mind the face and real name of that person. And only one way of death will be written which exists in reality. Death spirit says to Light, you must apply this notebook. Then Light looks at that mischievous boy through the room window, who is also teasing someone at that time, and he had also hit Light. Being agreed with Death spirit, Light writes down the name of that boy in the notebook. He writes the way of death for that boy as his head will be crushed. Then the sight of outside is shown which is immediately changes. 2 cars are collided with each other. While one car had the iron ladders in it with which that boy's head is crushed in reality. Everyone with Light is left shocked, witnessing it. Seeing it, Light had started to believe that the told facts by Death spirit are based on truth. So Light is very frightened. Death spirit tells Light that, you can do many things with the help of this book. I will give the ownership of this notebook to another one if you don't want to have this notebook. Afterwards, Light returns to his house. Light's father is seen in the house, who was detective. Then it is shown that a criminal has killed Light's mother a few years ago. But that criminal was wandering freely because of having no evidence. So there was not good association between father and son due to this. Light is angered with his father saying, you are not avenging my mother. Light used to be upset because of this reality. Then Light hits upon an idea that he may write the name of that criminal in that death note. And he does the same. He writes down the name of criminal in the death note. Then the same criminal is shown who was celebrating a party with his buddies. All of a sudden, he is dead in front of everyone. The father and son are satisfied, hearing the death news of that criminal. Here Light avenges his mother, and the relationship between both father and son also restored. Then Light thinks, how did this notebook's magic use for the good purpose? Light was pondering it, sitting at the school. Then a girl named Mia comes to him. Mia is the bosom friend of Light, so he reveals his secret to her, that I have found a mysterious book. Any person is dead whom name is written in it. But Mia does not trust it. Light shows Mia demonstration to prove it. Where a killer arrives on the scene. Light writes down about the killer in death note as he will be dead when a car crashes with him. It happens the same because Light knew the real name and face of that killer in his mind. Mia is left surprised, witnessing it. They plan, we are the owner of a great power. So, we will eradicate the evilest person from this world. Evilest people include as criminals, murderers and such threatening people. For doing so, the face and the real name could easily be explored through internet. So they put the evil people's names in the list and the evil people also begin to meet their fate gradually. Here it is also revealed that Notebook's owner can hold sway over the dying people. Light had chosen a name for himself, which was Kira. As Light used to write the name Kira whenever someone died. So the evilest people may leave doing the wrong deed after being terrorized by this name that Kira has arrived to end all criminals and evilest people. At first sight, this news is gone viral throughout the world that a serial killer Kira has come who is continuing to kill everyone. And some people were favoring Kira. In this way, the evilest people will be rooted out from the world. He was actually a killer, so police wanted to search for him. There was no evidence against Light, so it was not easy to detect him. Then an intelligence investigator is hired to tackle this case. That investigator's name was L, who was very sharp. He used to mask his face and his real name was also unknown by everyone. Light and Mia were very satisfied in their life. They had killed more than 400 people. L announces in a meeting that, Kira, reveal yourself before everyone. Being an intelligent, L investigates the roots of this case. L also takes the companionship of Light's father because he was detective, so they may reach Kira as soon as possible. Light and Mia are upset because they had not thought that it will be conspired to arrest them, because they were still contented. But L's arrival had increased their anxiety. Light asks his father, what will be the punishment of Kira if he is caught? Light's father tells, half of the population will demand that Kira should be sentenced to death, while half of the population will force to investigate the way how he did it. Knowing it, Light's anxiety is more increased. He also reveals it to Mia and he suggests to her that we should stop it now. Because there were many people including Light under the suspicion of L. Because he could approach the data of his father. So L assigns a duty of an agent to detect Light. So he may keep an eye on the activities of Light. Knowing it, Light keeps himself calm down. Mia feels bad realizing the lack of interest in Notebook by Light. Because Mia was feeling pleasure of doing so. L had become the hindrance on the way of Light and Mia. But they cannot kill him in spite of their will. Because neither they had seen his face nor they got knowledge of his real name. It was also the rule of the Notebook. Light and Mia are talking over it, that name of all agents should be written down in this notebook who are detecting Kira. So other agents may be terrorized by Kira and they have to close this case reluctantly. It was the suggestion of Mia while Light was not willing to do any such thing. Because he was not willing to take the life of innocent people. So Mia has to agree with Light. Contrarily, L also comes to know that Kira has been victimized those people who have been shown on TV. And Kira cannot victimize those whose face and name are unrevealed before him. To avoid the suspicion, Light decides that he will not kill people for some days. Suddenly, an incident occurs as all agents commit suicide, jumping off the building. Who were the agents of this case and searching for Kira? These names had not been written by Light. Who had written their names? Here the situation is worsened. Because Kira was just killing the evilest Propel till now. People were tagging him hero. But he had killed police now. So he turned into a threat who can take the life of anyone. Light is troubled because of this incident. He asks Death Spirit, have you committed it? Then Death Spirit tells, these names have been written by anyone else. Because I cannot do it. Light's father challenges Kira in his seminar that, stop killing the innocent people. Kill me if you have courage. Come before everyone. This news was being watched by Mia and Light. Mia says to him in aggression, write down the name of your father in that notebook. He says to Mia, how can I kill my father? Are you gone mad? L was more wisely tackling this case. He inspects either Kira will kill Light's father or not. But it does not happen. Light's father remains alive, so L's suspicion on Light is turned into belief. Because he is also a detective, tackling this case. But he did not become the victim of Kira. So Kira is not anyone else but Light. So L confronts Light at night. He attempts to explore from him that, you are Kira. L also interrogates Light, revealing his face. He says, "Stop doling it now." Light leaves, overlooking him. Now the sword of Damocles hangs over his head. He could not kill Elle in spite of his wish. Mia says to Light, "I have a great affection for you. We should do something to avoid this trouble." Light thinks a lot to keep Elle out of this way. He says, "I have seen the face of Elle. And Elle's real name will surely be known by his friend." Light writes down the name of Elle's friend in that notebook and he gets the control of him. Now the notebook's one more rule is revealed here. That person will be secured, getting no harm if the owner burns the person's name page. But Death's spirit exposes Light, it will be done only for once. Now Elle's friend was under the control of Light. But he was also unaware about the real name of Elle. Light orders him, know about the real name of Elle at any rate. Elle's friend tells, Elle used to visit an academy, it is possible that his documents may have his real name. So Light immediately asks him to visit academy. Elle's friend carries out the order and moves to academy. Light had planned that knowing the real name of Elle, he will burn that page where Elle's friend name has been written and he will be secured. And everything will come on its routine. But Elle is suspected that his friend is missing. He also understands the whole story that Light had also taken hold of him to know my real name. Elle is distressed on it. And he comes to Light's house without informing. He tells Light's father, "Your son is real Kira. It is he who has disappeared my friend." But Light was not in the state of being suspected. Because there was no evidence against him. Elle finds nothing in their house while discovering it, nor that ancient notebook. Because Mia had taken it away with her. Then Light receives the call of Elle's friend who says, "I have reached academy." And he had left a little time. Elle's friend is nearly to reveal the name. Then Light checks, there is not the page of name but has disappeared when he is going to burn it. So Elle's friend is dead before telling the name. Light is dejected on it. Then Mia reveals this secret in a dance party that, "I have torn the name page of Elle's friend. Moreover, I had also written the name of agents in that notebook." She tells, "I have also written your name in that notebook now. And the way of Light's death is this, his heartbeat will stop working at midnight, leaving him dead." She says, "I will burn the page of your name if you hand over this notebook to me." It means, Mia flirts him in order to gain that book. Knowing about the death of his friend, Elle struggles hard to arrest Light. At last, Elle catches Light. But Elle says to a cook, standing there, "He is Kira. Help me to capture him." But that cook knocks Elle out, because he was the defender of Kira. Light also takes Mia with him while running. Then they come in the swing and caught upward. Meantime, police also reach there. Light says to Mia, "You will not touch this notebook if you love me. We will mutually bring things on their correct form." Being greedy, Mia disagrees with him. She grabs that notebook from Light. Light says to Mia seeing it, "You have wronged it at all." Hearing it, Mia gets understanding, Light may have written my name in this notebook. Their names were on the pages of notebook, so both immediately fall down. Mia is dead at the spot, but Light falls into the water. Then Light is shown in the hospital, who had gone into coma. Meanwhile, more criminals are also dead. Police notice that Elle had a suspicion on Light, who has gone into coma. And people are still dying. Then it is observed that, a page is separated from that notebook when Mia and Light were falling down from the swing and it is burnt. And that page had a written name Light. Light had acted wisely. As when he knew that Mia had written his name in the notebook, then he wrote in the book, "Mia will be dead if she brings back that notebook from him and the page which has written name of Light will be burnt. And Light will fall into the water." He had also written the names of the evilest persons in the book. A corrupt doctor makes Light deeply unconscious, bringing him out of the water. Later, the same doctor commits suicide. Then another man takes that notebook. He writes many evil people's name in that notebook. Afterwards, that man brings that notebook to Light, who had come out of the coma. After this, Elle is terminated, but he discovers Mia's house for the last time. And he gets the name of dead police officers. So all allegations are put on Mia. Light had also recovered completely, and also gained that notebook. But he had learned a lesson that he will not trust anyone from now on. And the movie also completes on this scene.